this program here aims to visualize connotations in logic. So let's say, for example, I wanted to say with A that every man, woman, and child are mortal. And then I were to run this, I would be granted with this GUI here, which shows clause A. Now, if I were to go back and change this to B, for example, it would also change the outcome here to B. So that shows that you can put a single clause out. So we associated A with every man, woman, and child are mortal. Let's say B is Boris is immortal. And I would then run that. Of course, by putting the correct syntax down. You can see A and B. Now, there is no correlation between them yet, but we can add that. So we can go into our relations, and I can say, as you would guess, and we have the comment up here to demonstrate it, A, B, and then we can type in contradict. So contradict essentially just, as you would imagine, says that there is an inconsistency with the logic here. Very common when we're working with it, and it would illustrate it by highlighting them in red. So here, it's saying that A contradicts B, and because A was here first, B would be the contradiction. So because we established that every man, woman, and child are mortal, the fact that then I after stated Boris is immortal, the program is saying, well, hang on, that's an error, because you can't have that. That's not true. But then, what if we took it a step further, and I wanted to have a statement C, where I said, Boris can die? Well, as you would guess, that's, again, another contradiction. Because by doing that, it will imply that A and C actually entail each other. So they are entailing, as it fits into the narrative that there is no such thing as an immortal person. But then this also would then contradict the previous statement, because I just stated that every man, woman, and child are immortal. So, of course, there's going to be an issue here. I should put correct syntax in again. And if we test this out, we will see that there is actually a lot wrong with it. A and C are fine, but A then contradicts B and B contradicts C. So there's, of course, an issue here, and this is illustrated using the red circles. And we can take this even further if we wanted to. We can have the principle of explosion, in where we have something that's completely contradictory to itself. Ice cream is a food. Ice cream is not a food. Let's say that's our statement. Well, that's interesting, because now if we look at this, D actually contradicts D and doesn't really have anything to do with anything else we just said prior. So if we were to now illustrate this by putting the logic down, yeah, okay, it's basically as expected. We have D over here with itself contradicting, and then A, B, and C on the right side. So that's how we'll show all of the information that we have. So another way we can also work with this software is that we can actually just press play straight up, and what we can do is we can directly add nodes and edges, as you might have noticed if you're eagle-eyed at the top here. So what I could do is I can just simply type in N and then add my own clause. So I can say A is I am alive. And then we can add another one and say B is I am dead. And then let's say we have another one, which is C, which is I am working. So if you remember, A is I'm alive, B is I am dead, and C is I'm working. And we can actually add the correlations now by pressing E and then typing in correlations such as A, B, contradict. As we know, if you're alive, you probably aren't dead. Unless we're talking about the recent discovery they made with some organisms which exist in limbo, kind of like half-half. But that's not the point of this. And of course, as you would imagine, if I'm alive and I'm working, or if I'm working, then I have to be alive, those two, of course, entail each other, so I can make an entailment. And yet again, C and B would contradict each other, but for my own sanity, I would put it as BC contradict, just because it's been stated first, so it's better practice to do it that way. And you can see now it does the exact same result. It's just we wrote it manually instead of writing it here. The plus side is, of course, you don't have to program it in, and it's very user-friendly. A user can simply just learn the very simple syntaxes, which I will attach on the GitHub if you wanted to work around it yourself. And the downside, of course, is you have to memorize the definitions, as there's no way right now with this version, the absolute beta of Semantic Galaxy, to see what each of the prepositions are. So, unfortunately, you can't see that A is I am alive, B is I am dead, and C is I'm working. But it puts into perspective in a way that's rather helpful, especially with larger and more complicated issues. You can, of course, use this in a variety of applications, but I plan on expanding on this soon. Hopefully within the imminent weeks, but we'll see how development goes. If there's any questions you would like to ask about it, do not hesitate to ask in the comments below. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. And if you have any suggestions or recommendations, please, again, don't hesitate. I would love to hear all about it. And I hope you have a very insightful and wonderful day.